criticism kung tawagin, let's say sa mga payagan, sa radyo, sa TV. Well, we have been experiencing my father's political life for a long, long time. I remember in 1963-64 when he was Senate President, wala kaming narinig kundi oust Senate President Marcos every day. I remember that. So we've been used to this kind of thing, no? And kahit papano, if you're in politics, there's no way around it. Wala ka namang magagawa na lahat masaya eh. Merong magkikriticize kahit ano pang gawin mo. So you just have to take it as it comes. And as I said, keep your mind open. And kung talagang it is a constructive criticism, then sige, makinig ka. But you also have to not take it all to heart. Because kung minsan, etong mga nagsasalita ng pinipintasan kayo, it's not because they really believe that, dahil kalabang mo eh.
Siyempre.
Ano pa naman gagawin nila? Alam nga naman na pupuriin ka. So, it is part of their job. So, you just have to trabaho lang, ganyan lang naman talaga.
Bong, how many % of your father's ideology did you believe in? Meron bang times na sasabihin mo, hindi ganyan eh. Ito yung pananaw ko. Lalo na, I guess, when it came to youth affairs.
Well, I think it came after it so happened that when all this turmoil was going on here, I was in England studying one of the subjects I was studying was political science. And many times, especially when it is explained to you in a very idealistic way, as it is in school, sasabihin ko, di kung ganun, bakit yung sa amin ganito? And uuwi ako, Dad, explain mo nga sa akin ito. And we would argue. And I came around to his way of thinking. And in terms of the pure fundamental ideology of what my father was espousing, I think that still is valid even today. Of course, the time has changed and much has changed. The Philippines has changed. The Philippines have changed. You talked about, nandito ako nung pinag-uusapan ng kabataan. Ang kabataan ngayon, napakalaking iniba na kaysa sa kabataan na nakaraan.
Do you think pwede pa tayong bumalik dun sa, could it be possible na martial law would come back to the Philippines? Could a person be as strong as your father was? Or do you think we have enough electoral safeguards ngayon at malakas na ang Senado at Kongreso na imposible nang mangyari yun ulit?
Well, speaking as an oppositionist, I don't know. I don't know na malakas na ang Kongreso at saka ang Senado because the Pangasinan Express is one term that has been used about the House about the Congress. But I think it is not how my father was able to consolidate his foundation was really the key. And if we are going to talk about martial law, ang inaasahan mo, ang sinasandalan mo dyan, ang militar.
Yes.
At kung ang militar ay hati, hindi mo magagawa ang martial law dahil pag nag-declare ka ng martial law, kalahati lang sasama sa'yo o ilan lang sasama sa'yo. Yung iba, tumututol, kakalabanin ka pa. So, it won't work. It really, many people have the impression na naging ganun yung ama ko dahil naisipan niya mag-martial law. Hindi sa ganun. Ang nangyari, inisa-isa niya yan and he had to consolidate his power, the foundations of his power. And you cannot, it is not something that you do by the stroke of a pen. It is really a political exercise by which you bring all the forces allied to you together. Na pag you declare something like martial law, I do not believe that the military is as united or has been as united since the events of '86.
But are we better off this way now? Wala tayong General Ver na strongman lang, na medyo yung power talaga is divided.
We are talking about friends of mine, so I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ about your outlook. So, but I don't know. The military should really be as one. And it is, I spent a little time in the military. And to see soldiers literally shooting each other is a very painful thing. And that is something that is to be avoided. So if we can avoid the involvement perhaps of soldiers in politics, maybe that would be something. But the way things have happened, the way the history has unfurled itself, is that I would say that the soldiers have perhaps also earned a right to be part of the political process. Now, how they will exercise that right is something that we in the Philippines will have to discuss for ourselves and decide for ourselves.
You're not talking naman about a junta.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You see, there is a an idea, especially from the Western governments, that that the civilian authorities over the military should be paramount. I agree with that. But whether or not the military should be allowed to make themselves felt as citizens is perhaps another question that we in this country, paano mo ngayon paatrasin ang RAM sa politika? Hindi na naman sasabihin, let us now suddenly declare that all military people are not allowed to involve themselves in politics. That would be crazy because you just couldn't do it.
Siyempre naman, dahil sila botante din.
Hindi lang sa ganun, nandyan na sila. Pinapag-usapan natin si Greg Hunasan kung tatakbo o hindi. Nandyan ang paano mo sasabihin?
Kung tumakbo siya, iboboto mo ba siya?
Si Greg, depende sa plataforma niya. And so far, sa pinapag-usapan, yung napapag-usapan, he is still reformist. And what he intends to do, what he has said that he would do.
Does it impress you?
It seems to jive with much of my thinking. So I would like to get into it more. I would speak to him about it. But on the face of it, I would say that perhaps we would have much in common.
Kinukyu na nila ako. But before we go to our commercial gap, I need a lighter question from Tita Swarding. Gusto ko marinig yung bong.
Thank
Yes,
you,
Tita
Chris.
Swarding.
And good evening, Bongbong Marcos, no? Kasi Bongbong, nung tumawag ako sa phone sa office ng office mo, no, sa congressman's office, para bang hanggang ngayon, binabanggit pa ang Chris at Chris sa'yo. Totoo bang nagkaroon ka ng crush kay Chris Aquino?
Aray ko naman, Diyos ko! Okay, sasagutin ni Bongbong yan. After you pause for this, please don't go away.
Kapayapaan sana kalayaan sa ay tagal na rin natin.
We're back, Arnelli.
Ay, ako na pala.
Embarrassed daw ako sa tanong nyo. Kalain ni Bongbong, pinafeed ko yan.
Alin ang alin? Yung kung nagkaroon siya ng crush sa'yo? Yung ba yun?
No, hindi, Chris.
Tita Swarding, you're so embarrassing.
Pakinggan
Talaga? I'm sorry, Chris. Pero nung nakausap ko kasi yung secretary ni Bongbong sa office, lagi daw binabanggit yung Chris Aquino hanggang ngayon.
Totoo yan. Pagka lumalabas ako,
yan.
Ito nagka-crush.
Hindi, is it because siguro may Romeo and Juliet mentality talaga ang mga Pilipino?
That's absolutely right. Pagka lumalabas ako at nagsasalita ako before people, siyempre, at one point, mag-open forum kung minsan or sa press conference, lalo sa kabataan, laging tinatanong, kung ikaw ba'y papasok sa larangang pelikula, papayag ka ba na leading lady mo si Chris? Yan ang mga tanong nila sa akin. So, up to now, yan napapag-usapan dahil nga dun sa nabanggit mo.
Yung nagawang Bongbong
yung
and
play.
Chris.
Alam mo,
Yes, Senorita
I have a
Preciosa.
follow-up question para kay Congressman. I understand your wife is a lawyer. What is it like to live with a lawyer wife? Does she nag? Do you argue a lot? Do
Will
you
she be
debate
like,
at the dinner table?
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Well,
si Lisa ba has the
Lisa,
tendency?
no. Lisa is, Lisa.
Yes, I know
She's
her.
not at all like that. Lisa does not bring her work home. Pagka,
Is she a practicing lawyer?
yes, she is. She is practicing
Corporate
right now.
or criminal?
She was in litigation, but she's now sort of going towards corporate more and more. On a professional basis, lalo na in my work, I need legal opinion. And kung nagbabasa ko or something, and there's nobody else to ask, I need a legal opinion. I am lucky to have my wife.
So
to be
you
able
work
to-
hand in hand with your
Well,
wife?
no, we in terms of profession, because she is a professional and she's a lawyer and she's a very good one because I've worked with her. And so when it comes to lawyering, sasabihin ko, hindi naman talaga ako abogado, so tatanong ko sa
How
kanya.
active is she in politics? Does she go house to house din pag kampanya? Or
She's slowly getting into it. You know, hindi naman siya sanay sa politika. In fact, pagka sinasabihan siya na kailangan siya pupunta rito, lalabas dyan, she always says, I'd rather work quietly behind the scenes, maybe help with the arrangements and
how
all
is
that.
your mom as a mother-in-law?
Oh, she's great. She's great.
talaga?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I always tease her that she's nicer to the in-laws than she is to her actual kids. She's much stricter with the kids. With Greggy and Tommy and Lisa, she's always very supportive.
Pero sa inyo,
Well, sa amin, iba na talaga pagka-anak, magkamali ka lang, anak mo yun, you know. She says she again, it's those levels of standards that it's those levels of standards that my father said. I suppose it's the same kind of thing that she's trying to continue to keep uppermost in our minds. That there is a level of standard that you.
How
Okay,
old is your
excuse me.
son now?
My son is 10 months. Oh,
10
10 months.
months
Mag 1
old.
year na. March na pinanganak.
So, do you think na your son will also be geared towards following in your footsteps?
I always say that my son will not be pushed, or he will be exposed